Hey, and
What an intro, the music. Oh my God.
thank you, Rosalind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to another episode of the Tim and Jim and Rosalind show. I am Tim Stone here hanging out by the Delaware River. Not really, but whatever. And I'm
Tim, don't spoil the fantasy. Just keep up the line.
right?
Come on.
Let's start over.
Spoil it.
Let me play the intro video again. No, I'm just kidding. Take two. And I'm so excited for today's show. I met Rosalind through Brian Schulman's Shout Out Saturday shows, and I'm so excited to have her here. But first, I'm going to turn it over to my friend, Jim Fuse, who's going to take it away.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to take it away, but the Atlanta Braves took it away last night, folks, and I am so excited, and we're now world champions. 8-minute drive from my house, went to the World Series games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was an amazing experience. And so going to parade on Friday. And but I'm also very excited. And I know, if you want to call it a spoiler alert, Tim Stone is starting a new show next week, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Make sure to tune in. I'm excited to see his new show, Perspectives on Cancer. And Tim, I might have a good potential guest for you. A friend of mine's daughter who had, I think it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma survivor, and now has become a pediatric nurse as part of the experience and going through all that. So I think she'd be a great guest.
That's amazing. Yeah, thank you, Jim. And thanks for mentioning the show. I'm so excited to be collaborating with Kara Ulker. I'm a almost 15-year cancer survivor, and Kara, her mom passed from brain cancer, and she has survivors in her family as well. So we bring different perspectives, and the show is going to be all about bringing different perspectives, guests on the show, all about cancer, really with the goal to connect people and provide a safe space for sharing their journeys. So I'm excited to get that rolling. It starts November 9th, 8 o'clock Eastern. You can watch it on my LinkedIn or any of the other places. So
Tim, congratulations. This is an understatement. That is incredibly courageous and generous of you to invite people to hold space for a very difficult time in their lives. My God, I didn't think I could admire you anymore, but I do.
I love you, Rosalind.
Oh, same here. Jim, you can leave because me and Tim are having a major affair here.
I'm not going to get in the middle of that.
So Rosalind, tell us who is Rosalind?
Who is Rosalind? Rosalind is many things, Tim, like most people are. But today, I'm 55 and a half years old, and I'm probably living the most rich, full life experience, 22 months into trauma recovery. And I won't lie, it's been bloody hard, but it's been the best work of my life. And it's opened me up to living fully, embracing fear, not hating myself while dealing with anxiety and trauma, which for me has been a battle. I've posted about that a lot on this platform. And I post to share, to heal, and to inspire others, because I want people at the end of the day, know who you are, know why you sabotage yourself, but do it without shame.
I've read many of your posts, Rosalind, and you are very open and honest and vulnerable.
Read today's, Tim. I go like I'm filled with regret and envy. Read it.
Oh yeah, I will have to read
it. but if you channel it well, it's okay. Right?
Yes. And Sima is here. Thank you so much for being here. She says, Rosalind, it takes courage to face fear. And she has a show that she does. So Sima, tell us about your show. Dorothy is here. She has a show as well.
Hey, hello, Dorothy.
Unstoppable Overcomers. Good morning, Dorothy. Shout out to Canada. Hey, look, Jim Fuse is in the house. And he said something about the Braves are world champions. So let us know if you are Braves fans or who you prefer. Andrew Kavanaugh, a previous guest, is here. Thank you for being here, Andrew. And Alex, the one and only Alex Chambers, who created the website LinkedInLiveshows.com. So make sure to check that out. Wow. But Jim, Jim, do you think we should dive into our topic for this week?
I think we should. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. So Jim, do you want to take question number 1 for Rosalind?
Yeah. So what is it like living with anxiety and complex post-traumatic stress, CPTS, and developmental trauma?
Yeah, well, it's I'll tell you, it's interesting to say the least. Every day I learn something new, and what I'm appreciating is that it's not a life sentence. I thought when I finally understood why I was anxious the whole time, why I couldn't do certain things to take better care of myself, I thought, man, I'm screwed. And then I found a book called The Body Keeps the Score, which I recommend to everybody. It's by Bessel van der Kolk. And I realized, I thought, this psychotherapy is not really helping me, because in psychotherapy, there is no treatment. So when I read The Body Keeps the Score, I learned that there's help for me. I'm not hopeless. And that with the right treatment, we're talking like things like EMDR, which I can explain a bit later. But what I learned is that you have to work directly with your body in order to get some peace up here, because trauma resides in your body. And I kind of knew it, but I didn't quite understand it. So those are the things I learn every day. I've been in treatment now for 22 months, and it's been very hard. And at times I have resisted. So for example, it took me 14 months to actually start to be nicer to my inner child, because I thought, man, I hate you and you hate me. Let's get a divorce. But you can't do that. So, but overall, it gives me a greater appreciation for the human experience, and for people who are going through other types of emotional, turmoil. And it's made me a better listener, a better coach, a better teacher, overall, a better person. So that's what it's like to live with it in any given day, pretty much. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Rosalind. And Andrew says, complex PTSD from surviving the Thriving by Peter Walker is also great. So thanks for sharing that. Have you heard of that, Rosalind?
No, you know what? There's so many great resources. I thank anyone who shares. It's great. We're living in a time period, as much as we poo-poo YouTube and stuff, YouTube is a great resource for so much trauma teachings and healing, especially if you're low income like me. Yes, I can afford therapy in Canada because I'm very fortunate to be in Canada. But even if there are people listening and you're on a budget and you can't afford therapy yet, hop onto YouTube. Follow people like Emma McAdams, who's based in Utah. She has a wonderful free course. It's 30 parts, and she'll walk you through your anxiety and hopefully teach you some ways to better embrace it along the way.
So Rosalind, what do people get wrong about trauma and mental illness in general?
Oh man, they get so many things wrong. They go, man, you're maybe like people, you're weak. Just like snap out of it. It's something you can do like this. What they don't realize is that anxiety and trauma undergird a lot of the issues in self-sabotage, like lack of motivation, procrastination. That's why I'm always pushing back against coaches on here. Just go, if you follow these 10 tips and do these affirmations, your anxiety will go away in 5 minutes. No, it won't. For most of us, it won't, which is why people post so much about procrastination and lack of motivation everywhere. If there was a magic bullet, we'd all have it fixed, but we don't. So what I do with myself and others, I go, let's go beyond the surface and ask big questions. Why do you feel this way? Why do you hold yourself back? And if you listen honestly and with compassion, the answers come, and you have a starting point. Yeah, it's not easy, and you can't just change it with nutrition. People are, if you just eat this for your brain. No, sorry. You can't just start eating carrots and whatever, and all of a sudden you're going to be more relaxed. No. It all begins in the body. No, it begins in the body. When you have trauma separates you from yourself. Okay? It fragments your brain. It separates you from your body. So when I had that information, I go, Is that it? Wow. So I spent the last 22 months learning how to connect with my body through breathing, through meditation and other forms of self-regulation. It's essential.
Well, and I guess too, I mean, I think therapy is extremely important. Would you agree with that?
Yes, but trauma therapy. Remember, talk therapy, there's no treatment. If psychotherapy works for you, good for you, but it doesn't work for trauma. You need a therapist who is trained in trauma therapy, so she can teach you how to self-regulate. Every time I have a session, we do at least 1 or 2 breathing exercises so we can dig deep and find out where I'm stuck emotionally. And it's an incredible experience. And plus I get tools about understanding, words like your protectors, your inner child. We do a thing called Fraser's Table, a great Canadian type of trauma therapy. We do parts work. So if anyone's listening, if talking therapy isn't working for you, consider exploring trauma therapy, because you're going to get treatment. That's the biggest difference, is the treatment.
And Andrew says his father was abusive, and strangely enough, his trauma has reared its head more as he got older. Have you experienced that as well?
Yes, it sits in the body. I didn't know. I knew something was wrong. I'll be honest, Tim. I knew something was wrong.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was trauma until about 2 years ago. I was watching the great Canadian doctor, Dr. Gabor Mate, and I thought, oh my God, I think there's something here. And then he mentioned the book, The Body Keeps the Score. And I thought, that's my life. Disconnection, shaming myself, not wanting to connect with my inner child, being very cruel to myself, and having triggers. So my triggers, for example, I have a money trigger where anytime I have to spend money, I go, oh, don't do it. We're going to be in the poorhouse. That's one of my triggers. And so, yes, it taught me a lot. Yeah.
And also Nancy Barrow said, the biggest wrong I hear is choose to be happy. If I could, if it were that easy, who wouldn't do it? And these important conversations would not be so important.
She's right. You got to feel all your emotions. Like, that's why I post about anger a lot. People here they shame anger. Are you serious? Like, there's a great graphic called the Anger Iceberg. I suggest everyone get it. The Anger Iceberg shows you what's underneath anger: resentment, regret, abandonment. Anger isn't just anger. And now, I'm not saying don't put your fist in a wall and don't hit anybody, don't hurt yourself. But anger is normal, but it needs to be processed in a healthy way. It needs to be processed. It needs to be shifted. So, and people with trauma have a lot of repressed anger. And they often, they self-direct the anger towards themselves, or they take it out on a cashier, which many of us do. So if you're yelling at the cashier, it's not about the cashier. We all know that by now. Okay. It's about you not dealing with your anger. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that, Rosalind. We're going to take a quick 15-second break for a message from our StreamYard sponsor, which we use to produce the show every week. And we'll be right back. We'll be dancing, doing the Tim. And you do that in the comments as well. And we're doing the Tim. Yes, welcome back to the Tim and Tim Show. We're so excited to be here today with Rosalind. You really have the Tim down, Rosalind. Did you take a course on
no
that?
offense, it's pretty easy.
It is.
Okay.
That's the whole idea. Oh my gosh. So Rosalind, have stigma or shame ever been an issue for you? If so, how do you deal with that?
Yes. But I finally broke it in February of this year. I wrote the most personal, scary post of my life on trauma and food addiction. I was sugar scared. And I thought, but I have to do it. And man, that just broke it for me. And now I write so honestly. People know me for that. I'm so honest. I'm vulnerable. And I'm going to even go bigger next week. bigger.
Bigger.
And only one person said, don't write that stuff. It's, it's bad for you. And it's not healing. I go, you don't know what's going on in my head. It's healing for me. It's healing for people who consume my content. So nope, I'm perfectly at home doing it. And I mean, I was always quite honest before, but never as honest about the trauma and the food addiction and things like that. Yeah.
What inspired you, Rosalind, to share this kind of content on LinkedIn? And what have you had people, reaching out to you, sharing their stories, or what's been the result of sharing this kind of?
So I'm not going to lie, I'm in it for the money.
I figured that.
And obviously, but it ain't working. So forget the money. Forget the money. Okay. No. So what am I in it for? I'm in it for, honestly, total self-realization. It may sound kind of corny, but that's why I'm doing it. This is me being authentic. I hate that word, but for lack of it, this is me being real. Right. I'm 50, almost 56. I have no more bullshit. I said, can I swear?
You just did.
Okay. So I got no time for BS, especially from myself. I got no time for it. And I think that's why I get a lot of supportive comments and DMs and things like that. Yeah. What was the rest of the question?
I don't remember. Do you find that it's almost therapeutic for you to write this down and share it on LinkedIn? Not
almost, it is. You know how good it is just to put all your shit out there?
I do.
And you're doing it exactly because so many more. What's great about this platform is that so many people are doing it, despite people like that's unprofessional. Oh, come on! We're almost 2 years into pandemic. Professional is different now. People are human first. So I love when people like you and me just let it all hang out, all of our humanity, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. Jim, do you want to take the next question for Rosalind?
Yeah. So Rosalind, your work is trauma informed. What does that mean?
Man, I write good questions, don't I, guys? It's a really good question. Yeah. The bonus is that what I love about it is that, and I didn't think it would be really important, but I'm noticing that some people I work with, there was one actually person in particular, the parents didn't tell me, but their son has anxiety issues. So much so that a month ago, he was just too scared to go to school. He was scared of being alone in the room when I was teaching him. And it was very hard for him. And so my healing journey, all of my informational lessons I'm able now to help people walk through those difficult situations. It's a real bonus. So I told him, man, you're lucky because I know exactly what to do here. And sure enough, one day the mom phoned frantically. I said, you know what? Number one, you take him to the doctor. Let the doctor check him out first. I said, then I'll talk to him, this week when we meet, and we'll see what's going on. But we'll do it with patience and with kindness, and most of all, with curiosity. The hardest thing when you're self-shaming is to engage with yourself without shaming. And the most important thing I learned is to do it with curiosity. It sounds simple, but a lot of people like me don't do that. And it's something that's important to implement. So I bring all of that, all of my experience. The empathy was always there, but now I have more knowledge about why people, for example, shut down, why they self-sabotage, why they procrastinate. And I can walk them through it. I walked through it with a friend this morning. Every Wednesday, I run a free anxiety support group. And it was because of my experience, I was able to help him, give him the support he needed for something very difficult right now.
Wow. Angelica says she experienced a traumatic event when she was 12. When she looks back, she can see that she was traumatized and didn't have a chance to talk about it.
Okay, first of all, Angelica is so cool. We're both part of the Stability Network based in Seattle. She's amazing. And she's here. She's on the road. So she's somewhere in a truck stop or something. So Angelica, thank you for showing up. I invited her and a bunch of people, and she's here.
Awesome.
Yes. So trauma really, needs to be processed because trauma, in the body, it's in a state of flux. And it hasn't been processed, and it needs to be processed in a supportive and trained environment with a trauma practitioner like my therapist. Because it's as if it's frozen in time, right? Think of trauma as kind of like a bug encased in ice for all eternity. The difference is, though, the ice is melting all the time, and there's agitation, and it's saying, please deal with me now, because you're only making it worse. Yeah.
Gail says, yes, curiosity is so important, and it helps us all be less judgmental.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you all who are tuning in. Let us know what questions you have for Rosalind. Stefan is here. He says, isn't it liberating when you no longer have time for BS in your life and just live to keep it real?
It is, Stefan. It is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful not being a tight ass.
Yes. It's like
look at Rosalind. It's so eloquent. So eloquent. Tight ass.
And Simon says, just ordered the book, Rosalind. My daughter has PTSD and it's been very difficult. Would love to have you on her podcast.
Sure. Get the book. Amazing. The Body Keeps the Score. Watch Bessel van der Kolk on YouTube. I even had a nice exchange with him when I used to have Facebook. I said, Bessel, I got it. I used to draw these pictures, Tim, with my head cut off from my body. It's on my art website. I thought, now everything makes sense. Oh, wow. He's just a wonderful guy. Wonderful. Yeah.
Wow. So Rosalind, why do you think writing is healing? We talked about this a little bit, but why do you think writing is healing and good for your overall well-being?
Oh, man. First of all, writing isn't only for writers. It's for everyone, all humans. It's not for dogs. Dogs can't hold the pen right. It's for humans. And it has so many benefits. It's the one time you can have an actual heart-to-heart with yourself. And the difference is in the writing. You actually have it in front of you. You've got a record of that process. And the moment I start to write, my anxiety goes down. I'm not joking, like 50%.
Yeah.
I'm kinder to myself. And when I'm not kind, of go, excuse me, I now have boundaries now. Before I never had boundaries. Now I've got boundaries. I go, that's not acceptable. I don't talk to myself that way anymore. I don't talk about myself that way anymore. And by halfway through the page, I've got clarity and I feel so much better. You've got to take time, sit down, self-regulate, breathe a little bit for a few minutes, and then sit down and write. I don't write a lot. Look at this. I wrote this morning. This is it. That's it. You know, there's a mistake. I got to write pages and pages. No, you don't. You write what's enough for you, but write. Have the courage to ask yourself, why am I holding myself back today? Or even just, what do I need? Often you just need a hug. Give yourself a hug. And self-hugging actually feels good. It actually works.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I like about what you were saying about writing and healing. And even when I don't journal, like I don't have a private set of anything. Anything I write, it's on LinkedIn. But it does feel so good, just whether it's about leukemia or headaches or just anything good going on, it just feels good to get it out there and share it, just putting it down, right?
Tim, it's end of the day, it's about self-care. Self-care isn't just popping vitamins. No offense, vitamin industry. It's not about vitamins. It's not about, orange juice and stuff like that. It begins, your mental health sets the tone for everything else in your life. And you simply have to take a pen or pencil, you sit down. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Anger. That's me. No bullshit zone. I got no time for bullshit, man. You got to sit down. So in the morning, I do about 5 minutes of, self-regulation breathing because I need it. And then because I want to be centered. And then I do about a few minutes self-visualization because I've got money issues. I visualize getting that check and putting it in. And then I write for a little bit, ask a question. What's up today? What do you need? What can you shift today? And then I write a little bit. I go, okay, that's pretty good. And the writing itself is a shift. It's incredible.
Yeah, and people are really resonating with the no BS concept.
Well,
For sure.
because that's the kind of family I was raised in. I think actually no, I'm the least BS person probably in the family, so scratch that. I don't know why I'm like this, Tim. I don't know, but I'm happy I am. I think
I am too.
people saw me as an irritant, for much of my life. I thought, okay, that's okay, but I'm not gonna lie. So
Right.
yeah.
So Rosalind, or Jim, ask this question for Rosalind, please.
Yeah. How do you deal with setbacks, Rosalind? I'm sure they happen from time to time.
Everyone watching this has setbacks. And if you say you don't, full of shit. Okay, let's begin with that. Number one, you just accept I'm having a setback. Don't shame it, don't blame it, don't deny it. I'm having a setback. And setbacks are normal. So what's a setback and how can I turn this around? That's all I do. Yep. When I had 2 weeks ago, I was having a very hard time emotionally. My 2 triggers are feeling abandoned because of my childhood and money, as I mentioned. And abandonment was really playing up 2 weeks ago. I thought, okay, stop watching TV. I go, we're going to sit down. I sat down. I sat with abandonment and breathed through it. And within a few minutes, I felt better. But again, just the simple breathing. Your body knows how to take care of you, but you have to let it do it with kindness.
Right.
Yeah.
So Rosalind, what are some tips that people can do today to better engage with anxiety and trauma?
Number 1, admit it. You've got it. 2, know it's not a life sentence and your brain isn't out to get you. My brain, I hate you and you hate me. This is not working out. I thought my brain hates me. I hate my brain too. So I thought I'm going to go someplace and they're going to cut up my brain. And that sounds good on paper, but that means you're dead. That's not working. So I found a way to learn through trauma treatment, of course, how not to hate my brain, not see it as an enemy. So number 1, again, your brain isn't your enemy. You just have to learn how to engage with it. Your brain is about survival, right? Your brain thinks I have to protect you from snakes and tigers and iguanas, whatever. And you say, no, sorry, brain, it's 2021. I don't live anywhere near wild animals. And I got to do this because I want to be more fulfilled. So you have that constant dialogue between you and your brain. And 3, know that you're not your thoughts or your feelings. You just experience them. So I never say, I am sad. I feel sad. I notice that I'm feeling sad. Okay? And don't shame your feelings. There's no good or bad. They're just feelings. That took me like 14 months. 14 months. Right? So those are quick things you can all do today. And breathe throughout the day. Don't wait until your anxiety is ramped up. In the morning, sit with and breathe through it and self-regulate. Middle of the day as well, skip your coffee, do that. And also, if you can't do it before bed. And also, I do like these 10-minute walking intervals. They're very good. You have to get up. You have to move your body. Yeah.
Do you say skip coffee?
Yeah. I think unless you're doing decaf.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If you want to get rid of anxiety and trauma, you have to dump the caffeine drinks and just go for this. Get the decaf. I love Illy, ILLY. Illy decaf is Italian. It's amazing coffee. Yeah.
Cool.
That's how you start.
So Rosalind, this has been a great conversation. Tell people how they can find out more about you, if they want to connect with you, things like that.
Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm here. My spelling is correct. Name is spelling. My website, also rosalinkrieger.com. But just, send me a DM on LinkedIn. Let's talk. And also, I have to work on my live. I was given live permission like 3 or 4 months ago, and I haven't done anything. So that's the next big thing. I'll work on my live show. You'll see me more talking about stuff like this on my live show.
We can't wait for that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So our guest next week is going to be Krista Molian, and we're going to be talking about LinkedIn is not a boring platform. How to show your uniqueness while still being professional.
Perfect topic. She's right.
Yes. And Krista's amazing. She's been so kind. She sent me lots of direct messages while I've been going through challenges, and she's shown up on Brian Shulman's shows, and she has her own live stream she does as well. So Jim, do you have any parting words? This has been a enlightening conversation, don't you?
Yeah, no, definitely. I would definitely say it has been, and hopefully it's going to help someone that watches this, whether they're watching now or on replay. And wish you continued, success in your journey with this, because I know it's going to continue to be a challenge.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for giving me the invitation. Anytime I can talk about this very important real life stuff, I mean, it's important. And the more we talk about it, the less stigma, and the more people can get the help that they need.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Rosalind. Thank you, Jim. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in for another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. We will see you next week right here. Bye.